So here's the question for you. How well do you know your leaders? Do you know the names of their kids? Do you know the name of their spouse? Do you know where they went to school? Do you know their favorite food? Do you know their favorite movie? Maybe we're getting a little personal. Maybe not. How well do you know your leaders? That's what we're talking about right here today on the Youth Worker Daily. Hey guys, welcome back to the Youth Worker Daily. My name is Jay Hyam, and here on the Youth Worker Daily, it is our hope to encourage youth workers just like you with tools, tips, resources, and helps so that you thrive in your ministry. We are talking this week about the way we love on leaders, the way we care for them, the way we encourage them and build them up, because they really are an essential part of our ministry, connecting with students in ways that sometimes we can't, and in times when we can't. And so we've been talking about what it looks like for us to care for them. And yesterday we talked about the idea of praying for our leaders, not just the general blanket prayer of God bless my leaders, but taking time to sit down and to pray for our leaders by name and for them specifically, whatever their needs might be, whatever's going on in their lives, and in ways that they want to see God being active in their lives. Well, today we're going to help you build that practice of prayer by coming back to what it looks like for us to get to know our leaders. Now, again, like praying for our students, many of us are really good at getting to know our students. We get to know the things they like to do. We get to know the things that they're participating in. We learn about their family. We learn about their siblings. We learn about what they want to do with their lives as they grow and move on from middle school to high school and then off to college. But how often do we take the time to really get to know our leaders? Not just in the sense that, hey, they've passed through our application program, we know they love Jesus, we know they love students, and we think we know their spouse's name and their last name. But what does it look like for us to really get to know them in the sense that you're developing not just a ministry relationship or a relationship where you're working together to minister to students, but that you're developing a relationship where you're actually building a friendship and an intimacy and a deeper knowledge of who they are. Now, I would argue that this would be incredibly important for us as youth workers to know our leaders because of the importance it is for students to see what the body of Christ looks like. And when we take that time to know each other well, when we take that time to build those relationships, we demonstrate what it looks like for the family of God to build healthy connections with each other. Not only that, I think it's a great practice for us to know our leaders because what we want to demonstrate to our leaders is a real authentic commitment to who they are. We do this well with our students. We want students to see us for who we are, and we want to see them for who they are. And I think the same should be true when it comes to us thinking about how we know our leaders. We should know things like what their kids' names are. We should know who their spouse is. We should know their spouse. We should be able to converse with them, and we should be able to see them in church, recognize them, wave hands, shake hands, and be part of their world. But we should also know more about who they are. If they have a full-time job somewhere, what is it that they do? Take the time to get to know what their job is. Understand the role that they play in their workplace, because that's a big part of their life. Learn their family dynamics. If they have kids, how many? What are their kids doing? How old are they? Are they involved in things at school? Are they younger? Have they moved on and now have families of their own? To know what's going on in the lives of your leader gives you a deeper intimacy and a trust value that when you're sitting there talking with them, you can be asking them questions about what's going on at home. How are your wife and kids? And then these questions become not just open-ended questions of like, okay, so I need to ask you how your family is, so tell me how your family is. No, these become questions that because you know the family, they become real questions of value and intimacy because you do want to know how they are doing and how you maybe can be praying for them like we talked about yesterday. Beyond that, I think it's super important for us to know our leaders and for you to allow your leaders to get to know you. you guys are going to be working in a unique and special way as we think about student ministry. And there are going to be times that you need to step aside to let them take the role of leadership for certain things. And having that relationship and beginning to really get to know them will help us understand how they lead. And that gives us a better opportunity for us to point them to their strengths and allow them to lead on their strengths. I think it's also important that we know leaders, because at some point we will have to trust them to do ministry in our place. A couple months back, I got sick. It was a Sunday night. We had our church activities and I felt fine. But by Sunday night, I was not feeling good. By the time Monday rolled around, I was in bed. For all intents and purposes, I was dead to the world. I had a fever. I was sick. I wasn't moving. But we meet on Tuesday nights. That's the time we have our students' meetings. There was no way I was going to be in any shape to do anything with my students come Tuesday evening. In fact, when Tuesday evening did come, I was still in bed. But it was so refreshing to know that I had leaders whom I trusted who could stand up and do things in my place. In fact, while we had a meeting planned, most of it involving what I was to do, I felt more than comfortable to say to my leaders, hey, you guys do this, this, and this, and so is going to lead the message, and I completely trust you guys to do whatever it is that you'd seem necessary and important to do. And they had a great night. But that comes because you've taken time to get to know your leaders and for your leaders to get to know you. As you work together, you're going to be in situations where you're going to have to trust each other, you're going to have to rely on each other, and you're going to have to know how each will respond in certain situations. And so spending that time to get to know your leaders only helps you become a better leader to your leaders. So as we continue to talk about what it looks like for us to lead our leaders or love on our leaders, let me encourage you to begin thinking about your relationship with your leaders. And just like investing time with your students, what would it look like for you to begin to invest more time with your leaders? I know I've started the practice here at my church where I meet with my leaders at least once a month. We've got enough leaders that it takes me a little while to get through them, like 2 or 3 a week. But we try to set up one-on-ones each month. And for as much as this is a ministry opportunity for me to minister to them, it's also a chance for me to build that relationship with them. Really asking the questions about who they are and what God's doing in their lives. So encouragement from me to you, take some time to think about what it looks like to get to know your leaders and begin putting that into practice in your leadership toolbox there. All right, guys, thanks so much for watching. As always, we are here for you and would love to connect with you in whatever ways that you need, answering your questions, encouraging you, praying for you. You can leave comments below in the description side of this video, or you can visit our website, the Youth Worker Daily, and fill out one of the comments there and let us know what's going on in your world. Also, be following us on social media as we share different things, tips, posts, tools, whatever we have that we want to give. And of course, as much as we post, we are looking at what you're posting. And so we're looking for your great ideas to repost and share with other youth workers so that we can all do ministry better. All right, guys, that's going to do it for us today. We'll see you next time right here on the Youth Worker Daily.